Hey guys, it's Kay from KS Anonymous, and I am back today with another episode of r/HumansBeingBros. Real quick before I get started, I do want to give you a heads up. I'm not feeling the greatest, so I'm sorry if my voice doesn't sound quite the same, but I'm doing my best. Small things to make someone's day. I go to the same gas station every day after work for beer and burritos. Today, when I asked for my burritos, the guy said, "They're hot. I knew you'd be here, so I made a fresh batch." And that's the most thoughtful crap anyone's done for me in a while. It's the simple things, guys. We are so lucky to have a human like Terry. Terry just came along one day and introduced himself. He said he'd like to brush cats. Eventually, it became every day. He brushes all of the cats and can tell you about all of their likes and dislikes. He also accidentally falls asleep most days. We don't mind. Cats need this. Terry is a wonderful volunteer. Hashtag napping encouraged. Hashtag grateful. Oh, that's so cool. I feel like that's like benefiting both the cats and Terry pretty much. It's really sweet. Bro offers me a decibel meter for my science fair project, even willing to ship at his or her cost. I am in middle school and I am doing a science fair project about how different materials block sound. I need a decibel meter to measure the volume of the sound that gets through. Does anyone have some good budget suggestions? I would not need to go below 30 dB. I remember doing the same thing in high school. Too bad Radio Shack went downhill. I think I spent $10 on my decibel meter that I still have and haven't used in a decade now. DM me and I will ship it to you at my cost. That's really cool. Definitely didn't need to do it, but really awesome of you. And that's something I'd like to remind you all, especially with these particular videos on r/HumansBeingBros. All of these stories, as well as any story I read in my Reddit videos, will be linked in the description below if it came off of Reddit. Sometimes I do get email submissions, but if it did come off of Reddit, you can actually go to the link and upvote people over there, if you want to take the time to do that. Today, a lady and her mother and husband came in to our Home Depot telling us that the insurance company may or may not pay for their little boy's walker, so they went on the internet and found plans to make one out of PVC pipe. My store manager heard about this and we went over to them, looked at their plans, and said, "We've got this." So we started putting it together, told the family to go and enjoy some ice cream and come back in an hour. Other associates started jumping in, and when the family came back, it was done. Everyone was crying to see Logan walk around with the biggest smile on his face. When the family tried to pay us, we said, "No way, this one is on us." Thanks to all that help and for being a blessing to this family and to this little guy. Hashtag love what matters. And then they included a few pictures. I just included this one. Wasn't sure about including the boy's face, so... But oh my goodness, that's so cool of them to go ahead and do that. And now he has a functional walker and they don't have to worry about that. That's really awesome of them. Good job, guys. This next one was an email submission. Thank you so much for submitting this. On a cold, snowy winter day in a small town in Alaska, a woman crossing the post office parking lot noticed a spot of bright pink against the snow. Investigating, she found a small stuffed kitten with big eyes. She picked it up, and an absolutely incredible thing happened. A rush of emotion overwhelmed her, a feeling of intense, pure love. It was so strong she broke out in goosebumps that had nothing to do with the frigid Arctic temperatures. She immediately understood that the small owner of this toy loved it dearly. Right then, she knew that she had to do whatever it took to get that little stuffed animal back to the child who lost it. Going into the post office, she asked everyone there if they knew who the toy belonged to. Nobody did. Setting the toy on the counter, she took a photo of it to post on social media. The postal employees promised to keep it safe until it was claimed. Hurrying home, she pulled up a local community page on the Book of Visages and posted the photo with the caption, "I know it's a long shot and maybe kinda silly, but somewhere a little kid is brokenhearted. Found this in the small town post office parking lot. Turn it in to the counter." Almost immediately, people started sharing it. In less than 2 hours, the woman received a message from an extremely grateful mother, accompanied by photos of a very happy little girl hugging her special friend. When the mother realized the toy was missing, she also turned to social media to ask for help, even though she didn't think there was any chance at all of getting any results. To her utter astonishment and delight, the very first post in her newsfeed was a photo of the toy. The mother told the woman that she and her daughter had been absolutely distraught because the little girl had a medical appointment later that afternoon and was very nervous about it. Having her little pink toy was the only thing that brought her some comfort. A small stuffed toy lost in a parking lot may have seemed insignificant to the rush and hurry of daily life, especially as Alaskans tend to hurry between vehicle and building to minimize the time in the freezing cold. To one little girl, it was the most important thing in her life. The stars lined up that day, and the kindness of strangers and divine intervention led one person in a town of 8,000 residents to look at social media for the answer to her problem. The end. And then here is a picture of the little stuffed animal toy that the little girl lost. I love that story. Thank you so much for sending it in and letting us all enjoy it. That's really cool how that happened, and the little girl was able to have her stuffed animal before her appointment that she was nervous about. I hope everything went well with that. This next one was also sent in to the email by a frequenter, Nick KOJ 1975. Hey Kay, hope you're good. Just watched your latest video and wanted to share an experience I had. Not sure if you'd want to use it for a video, as I for one generally find that stories about human kindness tend to play better when it is being related by the recipient or a bystander, but thought you might like to hear in any case. So, some years ago, I had been to visit my dad on a Thursday evening. This used to be a regular thing, as I used to join in with his friends playing cards at his local members club. This meant catching the last train home, which set off at 11:40 p.m. or so. So I got to the train station around 10 minutes before the train left and saw a girl, probably early 20s or so, sat on the floor in tears. I didn't feel I could walk past without at least seeing if I could help some, so I asked what was up. She had been out with some friends drinking and had got back to the station to find that the last train for her, going a different way, had left. She still had her return ticket, but her phone was dead and she had no money and was obviously upset, as she had no way to get home except to walk to the next town, over 7 miles away, and mainly along mostly dark or poorly lit roads. She also had no money in the house, so couldn't get a cab and pay on arrival. I first checked on the railway website to see if she could go one stop on the train I was getting. The station we were at was a terminus to get onto the through line, but no other trains were going back the other way. So I went to the taxi rank and asked them how much a taxi back to her hometown would cost. He said it depended on the exact location, but probably more than £20. However, he was waiting for a specific pickup. He promised to come straight back for her once he had completed that job, so I went back to her, handed her a £20 note, and explained. I also wrote down my number in case she wanted to contact me later to repay me, but no obligation. I never did hear from her again, and while it would have been nice to get some confirmation that she did make it home safely, I can totally understand why she might have been wary. But to my mind, £20 to make sure that she had a safe ride home is far better than hearing over the next few days about some woman going missing after a night out or being hurt or worse, whether accidentally or deliberately. Anyhow, keep up the good work, Nick. Thank you, Nick, for sharing that with us, and good on you. You know, £20, I believe that's the right right symbol there. Sometimes I get mixed up because I'm just used to dollars, and you know, being an American, I can be kind of ignorant to some things here, but really cool of you to go out of your way and spend I don't know, it's not a lot of money, but it's not like a little bit of money. I don't know, it's significant enough in my opinion, just to make sure that some stranger gets home safely, and I hope that she did. I mean, yeah, at least you didn't hear something horrible about it in the headlines or anything. So good on you, and thanks for sending that in. My parents, everyone. Shout out to my amazing parents who, seeing a young, frantic woman chasing a city bus, decided to stop and see if they could help. It turns out that the woman forgot her phone on the bus and could not afford another one and had no support system on the mainland US. My parents decided that they would take her to the next stop the bus line had, but when they got there, there was no sign of the bus. At this point, the young woman was distraught and late for work, so my parents dropped her off at work. On their way home, they see the same bus the young lady was chasing and were able to collect her phone off of that bus. They happily drove it back to her place of work to deliver it to her. Seriously, what a pair of amazing humans to go above and beyond for a stranger. I am so proud to be their daughter. That is really awesome of them. Not only do they stop and see what's going on, they drive her to the bus stop, don't see the bus, drive her to work, and then they end up seeing that bus, getting her phone, and dropping it back off at her work. That is awesome. Way out of their way to help a stranger. Good on them. And that is actually going to wrap it up for today's video. I'm so glad that you guys enjoy our /HumansBeingBros. I know it's not one of the most trending subreddits, but I do know that you all really like to hear some positive, uplifting things and some things that people do that are just good. Some people being nice human beings on this planet after we hear all about them being otherwise. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Really quickly, I would like to thank my patrons. They should be up there on the screen. You should see my face palmers and my crazy K's. Thank you all so much for supporting me in that way. If you're interested in becoming a patron, you can check out my description box or the end screen. And if you would ever like to share one of your stories for possibly being included in one of my videos, you can send it to chaosanonymous@gmail.com. I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!